Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Cawthron Center at Mars Hill University. My name's Jimmy Knight, and we're continuing our series of celebrating Mars Hillians doing exciting things out in the world of work. And tonight, I am just delighted to be joined by Dayna Hartley. She's class of 2017, and was an athletic training major when she was at the Hill. And so we just want to go ahead and jump right on in, shall we? Hi, Dayna. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would. Tell us where you're from and what brought you to Mars Hill and what drove you to decide to major in athletic training.
All right. So like you said, I graduated in 2017 as an athletic training major. I am from New Jersey, of all places. And Mars Hill kind of found me. They sent me all the brochures in the mail when I was a senior in high school, and I really wanted to go to college in the South, and I visited Mars Hill. Love the mountains. I'm from a beach town, so it was something different for me. And truthfully, Mars Hill gave me the most money in my financial aid package, and my parents were like, that's where you're going. We're sending you off.
Well, it's funny how that happens. It happens quite a bit sometimes. So yeah, we get people in from all around the country, and when they see the mountains, they're smitten by it almost instantly. And I have to admit that I'm one of those people too. So I didn't grow up here in the mountains, but I certainly do love it. So let's talk about your job. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, where you ended up, and then we'll talk about how you found it.
Yeah, so my current job now is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I am a clinical athletic trainer at the sports medicine clinic for Winston-Salem Baptist Health. I'm sorry, Wake Forest Baptist Health. It's a mouthful.
That is a lengthy thing to remember. How do you fit all that on your business card?
It's on my name tag.
Oh, wow. So how did you find out about this particular job? How did you find your way there?
So most of it was through networking. My first job out of college, I worked as an athletic trainer in a high school, and during the summer months worked at an athletic training summer camp with a couple of athletic trainers from the Triad area. And when I was moving to the Triad area, I had told one of them during the camp saying, hey, if you know anybody looking to hire, please let me know, because I'm moving to the area with no job and I would really like to get this process going. And she said, oh, Wake Forest Baptist Health is hiring. Let me put you in contact with the person who's doing it and send me your resume. And so we did that, and I got in contact with the contact person and got an interview.
That's it's a very interesting thing, because one of the things that I harp on quite a bit is it's not so much about sending out resumes, it's who you know. And oftentimes you don't know who you know until those connections just kind of click sometimes.
Need them.
Yeah, yeah. So as you were preparing for the interview, can you give us a little bit of background on what it is that you might have done as you were getting ready, and anything that sort of let's just say opened up in your mind with a big aha moment as you were preparing for this? How did you battle nerves, and how did you prepare? Just anything like that.
Yeah, so anybody that tells you that knows me will tell you that I can talk to any Joe Schmo off the street, but when it comes to like a formal setting, interview setting, I get nervous. I'm sure as many people do. So before I had this interview, I actually had like 4 or 5 interviews before this one, which kind of put me at ease in a sense, gave me that practice that I needed. And then as far as preparing for this specific interview, I had, done my research on the company, found out kind of what their values and their mission statement was, to make sure it aligned with mine and what I was really looking for in a job.
That's really important. And there's so many tools out there now that you can do that, whether it's LinkedIn or, just especially for an organization the size that, like the one that you work for, very, very efficient and substantial websites that you can sort of troll your way through. And that's a really good way to do it. I couldn't have scripted that for you to say actually any better. So um, when you applied, did they ask you to fill out like a whole lot of online forms? Did you have to go through that process as well?
So I did, just because I gave my resume to the person I knew. Didn't exclude me from all the fun filling it out online stuff, but they just needed it for HR purposes. But they had my resume and interview kind of before I had done that process, because, like kind of you said, it's all who you know most of the time. And they had kind of known my rapport with the athletic trainer and had me in for an interview based off of that.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, that's it's really important. I also harp on that too, to make sure that you have all of your information. It may not be on your resume, but have everything, what you've earned in past jobs at the ready, references, everything ready to go, and make sure that you have updated your references and that you give people the right address for the reference that you're giving. It's
Yeah,
awfully important.
I was moving around a lot. I was relocating. So it was definitely important to make sure my resume was updated when I went in for the interview.
Very good. Thank you. Bless you. So, tell me about the interview process. How many people did you have to meet with, and was there anything that surprised you in that process?
So I met with the clinical manager for one meeting or one interview, and as well as the other athletic trainer who works in the clinic. Um, and they just kind of sat me down, wanted to get to know me as a person, wanted to know what my skill set was and how it would fit in with their clinic. One of the things that they did that did surprise me was after the interview, she had brought me into the clinic to show me around and introduce me to the rest of the staff to kind of get a feel if I would jive with everybody, and
Hmm.
how the other people who work here who would be my coworkers kind of felt about me as well, which I was
Uh,
expecting that. I thought it was just going to be an interview, but I'm glad because it reinforced more that I wanted the job and that I wanted to work here.
well, there you go. That's a really good way to put it too. I mean, uh, people need to realize that not only are you trying to get a job, but you're somewhat boss shopping. And you want to make sure that the chemistry that you feel is one that's good for you, and that if you see red flags or yellow flags flying all over the place, pay attention to that, because sometimes when you shoehorn yourself into certain situations, um, it's not really good for the soul or spirit. So that I like the idea that they showed you around a little bit so you get a feel for the people that were there. That's really cool. So let's talk about your time at Mars Hill, and let's think way back, all what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And if you could tell me a little bit about something that really gave you an aha moment, something that um, opened up the heavens and choirs sang, uh, something that showed you, yes, this is really what I want to do. Uh, did you have any kind of an epiphany like that while you were at Mars Hill?
Um, I think I did, kind of with our clinicals, with the athletic training program that was there. You don't even get to start it until your sophomore year. So freshman year is kind of just finding your niche there, meeting friends, taking your gen eds. And then once you start the program is when you start taking all the athletic training classes and whatnot. And I think my aha moment was when I did my clinicals with all the sports teams. It kind of reinforced the idea that I really liked what I was doing. And it also gave me that real world experience, because I was shadowing the athletic trainers when I got to the upper level classes, such as junior and senior year. They kind of let us go on our own.
Hmm.
And we really got to feel what it would be like to be an athletic trainer.
Very good. That's cool. I like hearing stories like that about how the system works. When it works for people the right way. So Now let's think back even way farther back and think about you as a 17, 18-year-old freshman who has just graduated high school, and you actually get to go back in time now and talk to yourself. So this Dayna gets to go back and talk to that Dayna. What would you say to her? What advice would you give? And what advice would you in turn give to the other uh, hundreds of people who are going to be starting Mars Hill in the fall? Anything that you would tell them?
Ooh, first athletic training program isn't there anymore. I feel bad for everybody. But second of all, I would just say to really try everything out, because you may go into college with this clear picture. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an athletic trainer. And then you kind of get going in those classes and have that experience and find it might not be what you want it to be. And then you kind of freak out realizing that you did all this work for it and it's not really what you wanted it to be. And that's why I think like internships or clinicals for me was so important in the field you're trying to study, because it really gives you kind of a view where you're not just sitting in the classroom textbook learning, you're really experiencing it and getting a firsthand view of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome advice. The whole purpose of school is to try on things and see what's right and see what might not be right. I mean, I don't know anybody anywhere in the hundreds of years that I've been on the planet that started out with the plan that they had in school and sort of finished it and ended up doing exactly what it is that they thought that they were going to be doing at 16, 17, 18 years old. So very timely advice, and I appreciate it. I want to say thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight. And so I'm going to invite you to just hang on the line just for a second while I end the video. And thanks again. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I know I jumbled a little, but hopefully it was okay.
It's fine. Everything's great.